Hey everybody, what's up? I kind of threw this video up pretty quick. This is the second node siege that happened on Linux. So here's a little bit of gameplay from it. This event was a lot of fun. A ton of fun. I want to say it was 68 to 67 or 68 to 65. You're talking about 150 plus people, or close to 150 people in a node siege. Massive PvP event, and we had Thunder shot calling in here. He always does a really great job at it. Afterwards, we did sit down with the devs and have a debrief of what we felt like went really well and what we felt like needed work. So the way node sieges work is it's massive scale attack on a node. So you can get in and out, as you just seen, just by running up and touching the blue spot on the door. We did use the terrain to our advantage here a lot. So the idea is you don't want to let them breach your doors. There is a flag in the marketplace. If you ever see the little round stone piece, that is where the flag's at. That is capture the flag. Right now, damage to the city was turned off. We did not have the siege weapons yet. So it was mainly just a play test of the systems, but it's probably the most fun I've had in 20 years of MMOs. Thunder was shot calling. He always does a really excellent job of keeping us on target, letting me know which way to go, what we need to do. Him and Hanson, which was our eyes in the sky, is a large part of the reason we won. You know, anytime you get this many people together, you have to have clear directives so that everybody doesn't get spread out, and Thunder's awesome at it. He's always done a good job in the node wars and stuff. So the idea is here is, like I said, it's basically a capture the flag, and you just want to keep them outside your city. It'll be really interesting later on when they add the siege weapons in to see how it works. Some people said that they felt like the doors were a little too strong, because we did have a debrief afterwards with the devs. Personally, I feel like the defenders should have a distinct advantage there, depending on the timeline and how the actual declaring of the siege works and all. And if a mayor can decline a siege, that's a huge deal, you know, because you have the ability here. The way Ashes is set up, each node is individual, so you're only allowed so many slots and so many buildings. So it's not like you can get everything in there you absolutely need. You can only get parts. So say like if you had the artisanship for, let's say, animal husbandry, because it's one of the more expensive ones and generates a lot of revenue, if you wanted to take that from them, ideally you can. You know, you just declare node seed, destroy theirs, build it in yours, and there you have it. You've bottlenecked it. So you really have the ability to change the landscape of the map and the framework of how the game is played and laid out, in the aspect of you can completely destroy an entire city. So it'll be really interesting how the balance feels after those are laid out. So basically, it's capture the flag. As you can see in the mini map, they have their spawn points. You can actually take these spawn points from them. At one point, we did have them bottlenecked down to where they only had one spawn point to spawn from. So we knew where they were coming every time. As you can see, I got a little far out front and I died, but that's my job. I'm the tank. I'm supposed to run out there. I'm supposed to draw fire. I'm supposed to chain the critical ones in. It did feel like whoever had the most rangers had a really distinct advantage there. From a CC standpoint, they could really lock us down and hold us. I want to say here we may have pushed on that point. We'll see when it loads back up. From the spawn point where everybody was at, I felt like the spawn timers was realistic and good. As you can see, they had already pushed them back and they were coming back through the door. They had completely changed the landscape. So we skipped here to another point where we pushed through. I'm a tank. I'm going to die in these. That's my job, is to draw the fire, cut them off from their heels with a well-placed wall, and put debuffs on. Occasionally, I'll roll in and do a shield slam or something like that and try and knock them down and hold them. But this, compared to a node war, was a lot more action because the field was a lot more compact. Where in a node war, I felt like we was running around the map a lot looking for them, and then when you found them, it was sporadically, and you found a few at a time and killed them, and that was kind of that. Walls are hugely strategic in these. So there's some things in this to me that really sets this game apart, you know. One of the really impressive things is the devs kind of helped organize this, and afterwards we got in a Discord channel with them, and we really talked about how it felt, how we felt as far as the balance of the game, and it's really nice to see them want to hear the player feedback, to where it's a game for the players. We're getting input. So if you have a game you want to check out, this is definitely a game to keep your eye on. Over the next couple of years, it'll be very interesting to see how it develops. I'm not saying it's going to be the best MMO ever played, but I will say it does have the ability to be one of the top MMOs in the game, you know, or made ever. It really has the potential, depending on how it develops and how the rest of the development of the game plays out before it goes live. It is in Alpha 2 right now, fixing to go to Beta or Alpha 3, where the servers will be live 24/7, and I'm really interested in seeing how it unfolds and devoting some time to it. So as you can see here, they breached the doors here, so this is where it really starts getting hairy. There wasn't a lot of time left, so we wasn't too terribly worried about it, but it was this is where it got to be a lot of fun. So our basic strategy here was we kind of stood back, we run out a little bit, kind of bait them up. If there wasn't very many of them, like here, I think we just literally pushed through here and pushed them back. But we did use the door there a lot as a bottleneck to bring them into a kill box, so we could just drop our AoEs and that would kind of be it, you know. From a tank perspective, there is a ton of chaining going on here. I know my graphics isn't too good. I had them turned down a lot because it is a lot of colors and a lot going on. So at some point we do fall back. It was to me, the intenseness of when they breached the gates really added to the feeling of the importance, you know, and having to collapse. So here you see the flag. That's basically the objective, is to keep them from capturing the flag. And you really don't want them to do any more damage to the city than you have to. So here's the kind of the final push where we all collapsed in and just protected for the last few minutes and killed what we could find. It was like I said, it was a lot of fun. You had almost 150 players participating in a PvP event where we defended an entire city, and I can't say enough about the game or how excited I am for its development. So hope you enjoyed. There's a longer video that was kind of boring, but I did want to go back and talk about it some and talk about the dynamics behind it and a little bit behind how it works. So hope to see you around Vera, and if you see me, give me a shout out.